Earlier today I made a discovery that I wasn't expecting, and I initially tried to shy away from it because I wanted, honestly, confirmation bias. I wanted confirmation on a belief that I had, and that was to do with sales, in that speed to lead. And what I mean by that is not to their first contact, but from the moment they've been booked for a video call to actually having that video call, the faster that time, the more likely they are to close. And the statistics that I've got actually don't show that. They actually show that for mine and Millie's close rates of calls taken that were taken within 24 hours of booking have a 46% close rate. For calls taken 24 to 48 hours after being booked, a 57% close rate. And then 48 to 72 hours was a 58% close rate, which is actually the opposite trend than I was expecting. So instinctively I wanted to shy away and be like, oh, that doesn't help. I wanted to cherry pick the data. But it is true. It's nearly a 20% increase. It's over a 20% increase in sales from 45 to 57, 58. That's drastic. But the reason I was looking at this data in the first place was to find information to prove why pulling clients forward when you have a no-show is such a good thing to do. And I was like, well, not only can you take almost double the number of calls, it's about 40 to 80% more calls than you would normally, but they are also more likely to close. And the stats on that second part of the sentence is not true. In our case, for the few hundred, maybe like 400 clients that we've sold between us personally, actually maybe it's more than that, but about maybe 500. But that was just not what I was expecting at all, and I don't really know why, but those are the trends. And so then we had a discussion, we were thinking, right, is it actually still worthwhile pulling forward? And the answer is yes, quite significantly. Having a close rate of 46%, 45.8, and a 60% show rate is still, if you take an extra 40 to 80% of calls at this lower close rate, you still end up with net more calls taken, more calls closed than you would have if you don't pull forward. But I thought it was going to be a double stacking statistic. At least that was my experience having done it. I always found it very, very powerful. I couldn't, that's quite interesting. I didn't isolate, because I don't think we track well enough, of the people who were pulled forward, what the percentage close rate of those people were. I'm going to pause the video real quick here and find the answer. Okay, so more metrics in our favour. Of the calls that we had clicked that are pulled forward and we tested, we actually have a 60% close rate, which does increase the likelihood. And that is what I was looking for. But our N on that isn't very big. I've only got five people that were ticked. So that's not ideal. But 3 of those 5 did close. Positive. That's enough data to say this should be researched further, but I don't have a definitive answer on this. Or rather, it doesn't seem that it's double stacked, but it does seem still very beneficial. And yeah, I just wanted to admit that openly here on my personal public journal, essentially, that I had a feeling of wanting to shy away from the numbers, and it sucked. And I felt a little bit ashamed and wanted to PIAC, and I wanted to cherry pick statistics for a narrative that matches my narrative. But at the end of the day, if you do that, it doesn't help the outcome you're actually after if you're just looking at things that are lies, honestly. So well done, Christian, for going through that, struggling, being sad about it, getting over it, and getting the work done anyway. Have a great day, guys. Peace.